Hi everybody, I think I have my screen recording, which is my hope. I want to show you guys the two apps that I'm going to be using for taking notes today. That would be Notability. And the other app that I have open is just Chrome. And I have it open to the website mathway.com. It is a wonderful calculator, so we're going to use that. So I am going to go through this review before Chapter 2 notes. And this is the first time I'm trying using my new pen and my Notability app. So here we go. We'll choose purple because I feel like I'm in a purple mood. All right. So please fill this in with your name. My name is obviously the answer key. And when I'm going to go through and just do particular problems for you and then leave the rest of that for you to finish up kind of as your homework for your grade for this particular day. So I'll start with number 1. And this is just review of Algebra 1, okay, just to get you warmed up again. So we have 7s minus, remember from Algebra 1, there's a 1 there. So 7s minus 1s is 7 minus 1, 6s. And no, we don't square the s. Please remember number 4, there's going to be a 1 in front of that g when you add. All right, now let's jump to number 2. Number 2, we have some like terms. So we're going to put 3a and a positive 1a together. So 3 plus 1 is 4a's. And then the b just tags along in the back. Again, just kind of some review from Algebra 1. Number 3 is done. These are not like terms. They're all different. This is an x and a y together. This is just a y, just an x. So this one gets a check mark. It's already done. Now let me jump to number 5 for you because that minus sign can throw kids off. There's a 1 in front of those parentheses. So I'm going to keep the 4t, and I will, you remember this word, distribute the negative 1 inside. Negative 1 times t is a minus 1t. Negative 1 times 3 is a negative 3t, and there's a t attached to it. All of these are like terms. They all have a t. So I would do 4 minus 1 is 3. 3 minus 3 is 0t. But if something is a 0t, we just write 0. Let's take a look at something different, maybe number 11. Number 11, we will distribute a negative 3 into the parentheses. This is 5v, just reviewing some basic Algebra 1 skills. A negative 3 times a 2 is a negative or a minus 6. And a negative 3 times a negative 1v is a positive, negative times negative, 3v. The like terms are 5v and 3v. So we do 5v plus 3v, that gives us 8v's, and that minus 6 is not a like term, it's just a constant at the end. Scrolling through, I'm trying to see if there's any that would be beneficial. Probably I'll do number 10 with you and let you do the rest. We need to distribute this g. It is in a weird spot, so what I'm going to do is color code this. I don't like that the g's in the back of the parentheses, but you can backwards distribute like this. So let's take care of that first. I want to see if I can make this a little smaller. Good, I sure can. That'll help you be able to see it. So we do g times 2. Well, g times 2 is 2g. And then we do g times a negative d. That's negative d with a g. It's like separate letters, so you just write them kind of. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to change colors. I'll go to orange, and I'm going to take this negative 3d to the 4 and this negative 3d to the g. So you do a negative 3 times a 4 to get a negative 12, and that does have a d on it, that first arc. And then you do this negative 3 times technically a positive 1. That's a negative 3, and then the d and the g go right there. Now we find like terms. So what I'll do now is I'll get even more colorful, and I will underline the only 2 like terms that I see is this one here. There's a 1 there, and this one here, because they both have a d and a g. The other 2 are not like terms. So for my final answer, I'm going to carry down the 2g. I'm going to do a negative 1 with a negative 3. Negative 1 minus 3. Let me show you how the photo math works on Chrome. So what was it? It was a negative 1 and negative 3. So negative 1, negative 3. Send that in. Negative 4 is what I need. And let me get Notability back. So it's a negative 4 with a d and a g. And then I'm going to drag down this negative 12d. Now, something that you can do is if you're like, oh, I don't know if these go together, if they don't go together, well, that photo math can be very helpful for you. I'm not encouraging you to cheat by any means, but definitely use your resources. So watch this. If I type in this right here into photo math, if I type this into photomath, 2g minus 1dg, 2g minus 1dg, what else is on there, guys? Minus 12d, minus 12d, minus 3dg, minus 3dg, and you send that in. We don't want it to, we just want to simplify that. And you can see, hopefully that's the same answer that I got as well. It kind of simplifies it so you can check your work as you go through. All right, so that takes care of the top part there. The next part, we are going to do some solving. So the word solve means you're actually going to get an answer. You're going to get the variable by itself. So in number 13, I'm going to get you started on number 13, and then I'm going to let you finish on your own. If you had me in Algebra 1, we always drew a fence right here. So we'll move that 4 over by subtracting 4. That makes a positive x equals negative 52 minus 4. So if you're not sure, negative 52 minus 4. Let's see, I guess that's just subtract. Negative 56. Okay, and then that's it because x is by itself. Now, number 16, you're going to draw your fence on. To get rid of that 3, you'll divide each side by 3 to get your final answer. Number 14, I'm not going to finish 16 for you. You can do that on your own. I got you a start. Number 14, you're going to start by taking that 13 away. You're going to bring, I got to zoom in my hands. There we go. You're going to drag down that negative y. You're going to cancel. And negative 67 minus 13. Negative 67 minus 13. What do we got here? Negative 80. So I'm just trying to show you how you can use a lot of free tools. And then see how there's that negative sign in front of the y? That's technically, let me go ahead and change colors. It's technically a negative 1. So to get rid of it, you need to divide each side by negative 1. And that's going to end up giving you a positive y equal positive 80. Again, just some old school algebra skills. Number 15, I'm going to show you the 2 steps. And then I expect you to be able to finish after. You're going to do minus 2 minus 2. You're going to get something equals a negative k. So I'll put a question mark there. And then because there's a negative 1 in front of that k, you're going to need to divide by negative 1 on both sides. And then you'll end up getting k equaling an answer. And I'm going to expect you to finish number 15 on your own. Number 17 might throw you a little bit. To get rid of divide by 5, you're going to multiply by 5 on both sides. That dot means multiply, not a decimal. So you'll get h equals something. And again, kind of responsibility, you go ahead and finish that, okay? 19 through 24 is the same way. Let me get you set up on number 23. So I'm going to get rid of my parentheses by distributing. If you want to put a 1 there, go ahead. Get rid of my parentheses by distributing. If you want to put a 1 there, go ahead. 3 times 2 is 6 minus 3c, because 3 times negative 1. Negative 1 times c is negative 1c. Negative 1 times 4 is minus 4. Put your fence on. I'm going to move the c's to one side. This is Algebra 1. I will add 1c. Add 1c. So bring down my 6. Negative 3 plus 1. Watch this. Ready? Negative 3c plus 1c is negative 2c. See how we kind of did that? It's there somewhere. So that would be negative 2c equals negative 4. I'm going to take the 6 to the other side. So I bring this down. Negative 2c equals something. I'm going to let you do that. Divide each side by negative 2. And you'll end up getting c equals something. I'm going to let you figure that out. I'm going to set up 24 for you. You're going to distribute. So 7 plus b equals 11 Oh, let's see, it's going to be 11b when you multiply, minus 33 when you multiply, minus because of positive and negative. I'm going to minus 11b, minus 11b, 7. So let's see, when we put these two things together, let me highlight. When we put these two things together, that's a 1 with a negative 11. You can check it out on Mathway if you need. It's negative 10. Those cancel, negative 33. And now I'm going to leave the rest to you. You're going to minus 7, negative 10b, bring it down, equals something, divide by negative 10, divide by negative 10, b equals, you go ahead and figure that out. Okay. Where are we at time-wise? I wonder if I can figure, I don't know how long. I'm trying my best, guys, to get through, so it's not too crazy long for you. Now, these are also review from Algebra 1. All right. This was Chapter 3 of Algebra 1. I had a lot of you back then. See how we have absolute value bars? I'm going to highlight them. These are called absolute value bars. Okay, that's a little messy, isn't it? These are called absolute value bars. They mean you're going to have two answers. Oh, sorry, I did something. There you go. So here's how you do it. Once your absolute value bars have nothing on the outside of them, on this side, you make two equations. You keep x minus 3 is less than 5, and then you do x minus 3 is greater than negative 5. Notice how, for the second one, these two items switch. Okay? And then you solve. Add 3, x is less than 8, add 3, x is greater than negative 2. This was less than, I know that's hard to remember, but because it was less than at the original, the word you use is and. If it's greater, you use the word or. So I'm going to put positive 8. Maybe I'll just do, maybe I'll skip by 2's. Will that work? Negative 2, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, yes. Negative 2, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. These are open circles because they're not equal to. A lot of rules from Algebra 1, right? Open circles because they're not equal to. So open, and it's anything in between those two. So it's going to be anything bigger than negative 2 and smaller than positive 8. So everything in here that I'm highlighting is an answer. Your Algebra 1 teachers, some teachers like to do it like this. They like to put like a big open circle like this and then highlight the middle like that. Okay? You can do however you want. I'm having trouble with my highlighter, so I'm just going to do this and this and this. Let me find a harder one for you. Oh, I promise I'll do number 30 for you. Okay. But before I do 30, 27's a bit of a doozy. Let me do 27 for you, okay? I can at least get it started and then you can finish. All right. So what we do is the absolute value bars are by themselves. So the first one, I'm just going to do 3x plus 4 is greater than 4x minus 3. Hey, this would probably be a good time if you're at home by yourself, like pause the video, take a 5-minute breather, come back and finish it, okay? So hopefully you did that. Welcome back. I'm going to take this 4x to the other side. 3 minus 4 is negative 1. Everything else stays the same. I'm going to take this 4 to the other side. And that's going to be negative 1x greater than negative 7. Now I'm going to get rid of this negative 1. Divide by negative 1. That's x. Hey, if you divide by a negative, flip the sign. I would write that down somewhere, maybe here. Divide by negative, flip sign. Okay? Let me zoom back in. So I'm going to flip this sign to be a less than sign, and that's positive 7 when you divide. I really am hoping you took a little break and you're kind of feeling a little more refreshed. Now what I'm going to do is change colors. So you know these always have 2 answers. So I'm going to keep that stuff the same. So I'm going to, over here, write 3x plus 4, and this, and this change on the second one. So it's less than negative 4x plus 3. See how I changed all the signs? So I'm going to add 4x, unlike last time. Oopsie, that's got to go here. Unlike last time, I subtracted 4x because the signs were different. 7x plus 4 is less than 3. Take away 4. That 7x is less than negative 1. Oh, look at that. Divide by 7. That's going to be an icky decimal. That's negative 1/7, which if you want it as a decimal, because negative 1/7 might be hard to like wrap your mind around. There you go. So it's like 0.14-ish negative. So like negative 0.14-ish. If you want to put that on there, you can. Is that an eraser? Oh, can't use my finger. There we go. Okay. So we have our two really awesome answers, and I know that's what you're thinking. Awesome is not probably the word you would love to use, but it is the word I'm going to ask you to use. I'm just going to skip by 2s again. I'll do like 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. There you go. Open circle at 7 because it's not equal to. That's at 7. And again, another open circle at negative 1/7, so that's like here-ish. And my answer is anywhere between those two, because it's an or. Oh, Miss Langeli. Did anybody catch it? This way over here. Everybody see this right there at the beginning? That's supposed to be an arrowhead. Everybody see how that was greater? That's an or problem. So that means if we look at our signs, I would have known that. Anything less than 7, so there, or anything less than this one. So either or would mean it's pretty much, is it here? Yes. Is it here? Yes. Is it here, here, here? Yes. So it's really just anywhere that purple line is going over. All right. I am going to encourage you to do the rest on your own. I don't think any other tricks are going to, number 30, let me get you set up. Little trick on 30, okay? So the first thing on 30 that I think is super sneaky, you're like, it's your notes, are these bars aren't by themselves. Before we separate it, we got a -2 before we even separate. So it's going to be negative 1/3, absolute value, f plus 3. Great, that's my phone. I'm not answering it. Okay, in a second. I'm like, I don't know how to stop my screen record. Okay, and then to get rid of negative 1/3 on the outside, you need to divide by negative 1/3. Please use parentheses on both sides. Like that, okay? So you're going to have f plus 3 in absolute values. If you're dividing by a negative, you're going to flip the sign. And negative 7 divided by negative 1/3, I want to show you how nice this calculator is. Negative 7 divided by, where's my parentheses? Negative 1/3. You ready? Get out of the parentheses. See how it gives us an answer of 21 when you scroll down. With an add, of course. And then you're ready to do your split off. I'll get the 2 ready for you. You finish it, okay? So that's f plus 3. Keep it the same. This is a less than sign, so we'll use the word and. And the other one is going to be f plus 3 is greater than or equal to negative 21. So we flip and e-flip. All right? That gives you a good start. The rest of this can be done in class together. Or if you're not in class, the rest is to get done by yourself. You are going to save it, and you are going to upload it to Schoology for a grade. And if that's any different, I'll make sure I let you know. All right, signing off.